Hey guys, welcome back to another Let's Draw, and today we're going to be drawing a chameleon. Chameleons are really cool, so I wanted to tell you a little bit about them before we get started. Chameleons are a lizard that are really special because they can change the color of their skin. Over half of the species live in Madagascar, which is a very warm climate. They can vary a lot in size. The smallest chameleon is the Brachysia micra, which is only an inch long. And the two biggest chameleons, which are the Austerlitz and the Parsons chameleon, can be nearly 27 inches long. So one thing a lot of people think about chameleons that isn't actually true is that they change the color of their skin to match their environment. While that would be really cool, that's actually not why they change the color of their skin. They usually change the color of their skin to communicate with each other or to regulate their body temperature. If they make their skin a lighter color, they can cool down. And if they make it a darker color, they'll warm up. They'll also change the color of their skin and their patterns to let each other know if they're angry or stressed, or to tell each other that they can come closer. Even though it would be really cool if they changed their skin to match the environment, that's not actually how it works. Their huge eyes can move in different directions so they can see all around them. And they eat bugs, which they catch with their long, sticky tongues. So now that we learned a little bit about them, we're going to start our drawing of our chameleon. So I'm going to show you first how to make the basic shape for the body and the spikes and things like that. And then I'll show you how to add the branches, the leaves, and some of the patterns I added. You could maybe have your chameleon in a different location and maybe with a different pattern. Even though we know that they don't actually change their body to match their environment, you still could maybe draw your chameleon somewhere and having it trying to camouflage in that area, because it's kind of fun to think of it that way. But go ahead and grab your supplies and let's get started. All right, so the first thing I'm going to show you is how to make the basic shape for your chameleon. So if you're going to add yours in a different environment, that's fine. You can still follow the steps for this first part. I'm actually going to start over here and make a pretty big circle for that big eye, because remember, those big eyes can look all different directions. And on the inside, a smaller circle. I'm going to add a little highlight in there and fill that in with black. Then over here, I'm going to have a line that kind of curves out like that, and then kind of goes back straight and curves down a little. They have that kind of sad looking face, even though I'm sure they're not really sad, that's just how they look. But if you want to give it a smile instead, you can. Now we're going to go on this side, and imagine this line here is continuing right here. And we're going to go up to make that little kind of crest on the head, and kind of back down and curve like that. And then we're going to make the curve for the back of the body. So imagine if this line were to just continue instead of it, like if this wasn't here and this just continued. We're gonna kind of think about that. So like right here, I'm gonna make a curve that goes way over here and then curves down for the tail. And then I want it to curl around. So I'm gonna continue and curl up and over like that. You could do even more if you really want it to be super curled up. It's up to you. And then I'm going to kind of go and trace along this curl. So I go slow and careful, but as I get to about here, I want the tail to get thicker. So I kind of have it be further and further away from that first line I drew. So see, it kind of gets further and further away, and it actually kind of goes back like here. We'll stop there with the tail. And then we're going to actually draw the little legs before we do the belly. So kind of in line with the mouth, or a little higher is okay, but kind of in that same like area here this way. And draw a curved line for the front leg and a curved line for the back leg. And I like to have mine go out and then back, out and then back. Same over here, out, back, out and back. Now this one here, I have space for the toes. I'm just going to do like maybe 3 or 4, looks like 3, kind of little rounded toes, because their hands are kind of look like, well, they almost have like little fingers like us, but they're a little different. This one's blocked off, so I guess I'm just not going to add toes on that foot. Now I'm gonna go over here by the mouth, and not right at the end, but a little bit over. Make a line like that. And we're gonna go over and kind of have it curve down, give him a little pot belly. Curve down, and then once we get to the second leg, you can kind of curve back up until it touches the tail. And there's the body. It's super cute. Now, at this point, you might do your own thing entirely. You might totally change it up. I'm going to show you a few of the patterns and extra details I added on my chameleon, and then I'll show you how to do the branches and leaves if you want to do the same. I did add these little curved spikes on the back. They do have little spikes on their back, although maybe you want to do something different, or maybe you want yours to have more of a smooth area on its back. It's kind of up to you. But I do these until the tail kind of starts to curl under, and I have them get smaller and smaller until they're just gone. And then for mine, I was trying to make mine look like one in real life. I think it's called a panther chameleon, or if I'm wrong, I will fix it, but I think it's called a panther chameleon. So if you want to copy the patterns I did, I'll show you how I drew them. So first on the mouth, I have a little line that kind of curves around it. And on this side, it also goes up just kind of around the head piece. I also did a little outline inside the eye and some extra lines in there for later. Then it has kind of this stripe that goes along the back, and when it gets to the tail, it curves down. And then the other side, along the back, gets to the curl, curves down. Perfect. And then I did a few big stripes on the bottom and a few big stripes on the top. On the tail, I also did some stripes, and I made sure to have those lines have a little curve to them. And as it gets further along the tail, those stripes get skinnier and skinnier, so I make the lines closer and closer together. Now, when I added color to this, I used crayons and markers and kind of scribbled and sketched a lot of it in to get some of that variation in the color, which is something we did on our Van Gogh sunflowers and a few other projects. Now I'm going to show you how to add the branch, and then I'll also show the back legs because I want to do the branch first. So if you want to add the branch, keep following along. Going to make sure the branch is above those feet. I don't want it way down here. I'm just going to have a line that goes straight across. Doesn't even have to be perfectly straight because it is a branch, so it probably would not be perfectly straight. And then another one underneath. I like to add these little quick lines to give it some wood texture. And before we go on to more of the branch, let's quick do the back legs. So just two little lines for like the other leg and the side too. Just like that. Then when you add more branches, so let's say I'm going to add one here. Wherever the branch is touching the first branch, it's going to be wider, but then it gets skinnier and skinnier as it goes along. So see, it's got a lot of space here and only a little bit there. And I add those little lines. I'll do one branch up here. So two lines, they start a little bigger and get skinnier here. And then I'm going to break off, and this will be pointy. See, it gets bigger, bigger where it's touching at the start, and then like that. For my leaves, I just do two curved lines, straight line in the middle and straight lines like this. You could maybe look up some different kinds of leaves on different plants and try making some other ones. I have a lot of good plants that I drew in my Henri Matisse goldfish video, so if you want to look at some other ideas for plants, that could be a good start. I'm also adding some on the ends of my branches and just really filling up the paper so that it looks kind of fun. And I'm all done with my chameleon drawing. Now you can of course color it any way you want. Like I said, I tried to color mine like one in real life, and I used a lot of different colors, and it ended up looking like this. I really like using marker and crayon and trying like scribbling different colors and leaving some kind of sketchy. I think it's a fun way to have colors blend, especially when you're not using paint or oil pastel, because it can be tricky. I also did marker and crayon on the branches to give it some texture, and I thought that looked pretty cool. But you can decide how you want to color yours, because maybe you're having totally different colors, or maybe you're having yours blend in to an imaginary scene. And whatever you're choosing to do, just kind of think about how you want to do it. Maybe try different supplies and take your time. I hope you guys had fun drawing your chameleon with me today. I would love to see what patterns or colors you decided to put on yours. And I will see you guys next time for our next drawing video. Bye!